Today for lesson 34, we are writing equations when given 2 points. Now in the past when we did this, we used stat edit. Hopefully you guys all remember stat edit and then stat calc. But because you're home, you guys don't have graphing calculators. If you do, you can still use it, but I'm going to show you a way to do this using Delta Math. So what I want you to do right now is pause the video and write these steps down. Once you have this written down, we're going to do examples and I'll actually show you the buttons on Delta Math. It's very similar. It just has a different look to it. So make sure you pause the video, write these steps down, and I'll come back to you in a sec. All right, for exercise 1, there is a typo from copying and pasting. It should say find the exponential equation that passes through each of the following points in y equals a times b to the x form, okay? So just like when we did stat edit, we're going to get an a number and we're going to get a b number. So, and again, just like we did before, we're going to make an L1 and an L2 table. The x values go into L1, so that would be 2, and then the y values go into L2, 2, 5. And then this 517, I'm going to write right here. Now, we're going to go to Delta Math. Let me back up. I was practicing. So on Delta Math, there's a calculator on the top right. This, I'm not sure if you can access this on your phone. You probably want to be using your Chromebook or your computer. So I'm going to click the down arrow here and choose Statistics Calculator, kind of like the stat button. And see how it pops up with edit? Now we enter our points into L1 and L2. So let me get my little 2. Whoops. When I press enter, it goes away, just so you know. So I do a tab, 2, 5, tab, 5. It's actually easier to type in here than in the graphing calculator. Now, instead of having to hit stat again, I just go up to this main menu and now I hit calc. Submenu, here we could do lines, y equals mx plus b, but we are going to choose exponential regression, EXP for exp. Don't worry about this diagnostic. We're not going anywhere with that. Make sure it's turned off and you hit calculate. So now when we write our equation, we're going to round to the nearest 10th, 1 decimal place. So what this means is y equals a times b. That little triangle thing is an exponent to the x. So when we write our equation, we have y equals 2.2. It stays a 2 because the next digit is less than 5. And then our base, 1.5, to the x. So that's what we're going to write right here. Y equals 2.2 times 1.5 to the x. And there's your equation. Now we're going to set up letter B the same way. So our points are negative 2, 5 and 2, 3. So when I go back to Delta Math, let me erase this. You don't have to press stat again because that's already done. Go up to the main menu, press edit. Now the cool thing is here you can just press the X and it makes the data disappear. So I'm going to type negative 2, tab over, 5, tab 2, tab 3. Oops. Then you go calc. And this is still here. So now I just hit calculate. And as far as rounding goes, remember, it's 1 decimal place. So here's a decimal place. You got to look 1 over. Since it's 5 or bigger, it becomes, instead of 3.8, 3.9. And our base, again, 1 decimal place. 8 is bigger than 5. So this would be That's messy. 0.9 or 0.9, however you want to write it, to the x. So that goes right here. Y equals 3.9, 0.9 to the x. Now, before you do letter C, there is a typo. The points are -111 and 4, -4. But this one should be positive. So what you should do right now, make your table and then come up with your equation. On Edpuzzle, there's going to be a question where you have to write your equation. So when I typed my information into the statistics calculator, this is the equation I got. Y equals 9 times 0.8 to the x. Now, if you're struggling with this is something you should ask us about during our Google Meets. Don't let it just sit. Don't stay confused. Okay, try letter D. Put your points into the table and find your equation. All right, when I put that into my statistics calculator, I got y equals 2.4 times 1.2 to the x. Our last problem for today looks a little bit different, but it's still the same thing that we've been doing. Where has my, okay. So it says determine the appropriate exponential equation using the given table. So when they say exponential equation, they mean this. Y equals A times B to the X. They give you a table. You're not given this information where it looks like points, but we're given X's and Y's. Remember, X is L1, Y is L2. So all I'm going to do is type those into my Delta Math. Clear this. Oops. So I'm going to go edit, clear. Not, there we go. So I'm just going to type my points in. Oh, there is a typo again on this packet. This -2 should be a positive. If you don't change that, you're going to get an error. So 0, 2, 1, 4, oops, 1, 4, 4, 10, 7, 25. Okay, make sure I typed it correctly. I think I did. Calc. And there's your answer. So what I would like you to do in Edpuzzle is appropriately round these numbers and write your equation. So here we have y equals our A. So we're rounding to one decimal place. Look one spot over. Since it's an 8, we're going to round up to 2.4. And our B value, one decimal place. The next number over is a 1. That's less than 5, so it stays 1.4 to the x. So that, whoops, come on. Our equation, we're going to write here 2.4 times 1.4 to the x. Remember, if you're having trouble, make sure you ask us for help on our Google Meet.